Hi everybody. So I've been wanting to do this video for a while now. I want to say for a few months, okay? And I made attempts to do it, and every time I do it, I don't like it. And normally with things like this, like with videos like this, I tend to bring out like stats and charts and all of that type of stuff to support whatever it is that I'm going to talk about, right? Especially with things like this. But because of how I grew up, I feel more of a connection to speak about it due to personal experiences, and I just feel like it just would be way more authentic. Hopefully the noises downstairs are not going to be too distracting, and I'm hoping that my son doesn't wake up from his nap while I do this video, but we'll see what happens. So I've been having like a nagging feeling, like I don't know who might need to hear this with this video. I don't. And I know that I'm going to be keeping the focus on, while I'm keeping the focus on Latin people, right? This stuff is really going to apply to any group of people, okay? So addiction has no, there's no color preference, there's no racial preference, ethnic preference, none of that, okay? This is a problem that crosses all borders, basically. And it's not easy for people to talk about. And, I figure out, I talk about it because, everybody could stay talking about race and color and the political side when it comes to Latin people, when it comes to Latin America. But when it comes to this topic, people don't want to touch it for some reason. I don't know why, because it plagues not only Latin people here, but of course in Latin America. It's really, really bad. And for some reason, people like to shy away from that, right? And if anybody knows me, they know that I don't like to shy away from things that are really controversial, right? So everybody knows, I've said it before, I'll say it again, what era I grew up in during the crack era. So lots of, I grew up seeing lots of people with substance abuse issues. There was a point where my own father had his own substance abuse issues, and I really don't talk about that too much. But people who grew up during that era, who are maybe in a close age range to me, or people that are older than me, you guys know that if you had a parent that was involved in things like that there were points where you had to become the parent, okay? And I'm sure that anybody who's hearing me saying this and who went through very similar things, you're nodding your head in agreement, right? So technically that was something that I went through, that my sister went through, where there were points where we had to be the adult in situations where we shouldn't have been, okay? So because of that, because of how I grew up, I'm able to spot people that have these type of issues. I'm usually able to see it because not everybody can. And I'm not talking about people who are like slumping over and like so obviously stoned or high out of their mind or drunk out of their mind that it's just blatantly obvious. It's not like that for a lot of people. A lot of people are functioning addicts, okay? And I tend to be able to even see through a functioning addict, right? And it's while it's I don't even know if I want to consider I don't know if I want to consider it a gift. It's not, because there's a lot of things that I can just read people pretty well as it is. So other than the addiction portions, I'm able to read people well, unless I can't see them. So unless they're like, it's an anonymous person that they don't show themselves or whatever, then I can't, right? That's now I'm kind of talking about within this internet space, right? So when it comes to that, I can't. But when I can see people, I'm usually pretty good at reading people well. And of course, in the real world, I'm very good at reading people very well. And I think that it's due to a lot of the things that I went through growing up, a lot of the things that I was exposed to. And I'll give like a little brief story to kind of like support my claim a little bit. So a long time ago, this is when my husband and I, when we were first dating, and he introduced me to one of his friends. This is a friend that he knew since they were like kids. And the friend was cool, whatever. But there was like, I knew once I met the guy, I was like, I think he's doing something, like he's on something, right? Now, because I grew up during like the crack era, right? So the things that I would notice, or like symptoms that I would notice, if you want to call it symptoms, like I would notice it with people who are on coke or on crack, or maybe people who are like alcoholics, maybe heroin addicts, like things like that. I'm usually able to notice because those were the drugs that I grew up around. But then within the past, I would say 10, 15, 20 years or so, there's been like other drugs. People take all types of pills, people do meth and stuff like that. So I knew the friend was on something. I didn't know what. And I remember asking, my husband at the time, again, we were just dating, and I was like, is he still using, or is he using? Because he had told me that he used to use, and he's like, no, he quit a long time ago, and da 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 da. And I'm like, are you sure? And my husband got kind of on the defensive side, and I said, okay, that's your friend. You know him more than I do, and maybe I'm wrong, right? But in the back of my mind, I knew that I wasn't wrong, and I turned out to be right. And the friend was still using, and we haven't heard from this friend in a very long time, and we wish him the best. We hope that he's well. But yeah, he really got caught up in some really bad things because of his addictions. And I keep him in my prayers and stuff like that. But we're not exactly sure what's going on with him, because he lives all the way on the other side of the country, basically. So yeah, I it's weird, because I felt compelled to do this video, because I don't know if anybody who's watching me, and I'm not calling anybody who's watching me like a straight up drug addict or an alcoholic or anything. And I hope that people know that when I'm doing this video, I'm not referring to people who like occasionally do like drink or whatever, and they go out, if they party, or I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people with actual addiction problems. And I know that I'm smiling and whatever throughout this video, and it's not to make light of the situation, but at the very same time, this is a very heavy topic too. And just for people who, I feel like there is people that need to hear it. And whether it may be you that may be going through this, or maybe somebody that's watching me, or people who are fans of mine or whatever, maybe you have family members that you may think that there's something up with your family member, but you're not sure, but you think that might be a possibility. Maybe this video is going to prompt you to look into something more with a family member, right? So maybe this is like a little nudge for somebody. I don't know, and I don't know why I've been getting this nagging feeling to do this video for a few months, but I have. And so because I've been getting that nagging feeling, I'm doing it. That's the basic bottom line reason as to why I'm doing it. Yeah, so it's when I get a sense that I should do something or talk about it, I do it. Call that I hate using the word, the spiritual term and whatnot, because it seems so like overly used. But as far as like how I am with that stuff, I've been on that type of journey for like a few years now, on and off. I'm not like the most connected person. I figured I'd get these things out of the way. So I've been wearing this cross in videos recently. This was actually a birthday gift from my husband. Now my husband is not Christian. My husband is actually a Buddhist. But this was a birthday gift from him. He chose this for me, and it has a very sentimental value behind it. It's very symbolic from him to me. has nothing to do with Jesus or anything like that, because as far as me with crosses, I actually don't like to wear crosses for that reason, because Jesus died on the cross, and that was just kind of something that I was raised with. Like, it seems like it's very, I guess, sacrilegious. If you're and I'm not a religious person, but it always seemed like to me, like, if he died on the cross, why would you wear his suffering? I don't know. But point is that I wear it for the symbolic reasons of why it was given to me. Okay. And you see candles in the background. And these are just Bath and Body Works candles in my videos. So I'm not doing crazy shit with candles. But yeah, this is just a flannel one. This is a flannel Bath and Body Works candle, and it smells like a man. It smells very nice. But yeah. So I thought that I would get that out of the way. People think I'm like dabbling into weird shit. I don't know, guys. I think that video that I did, that Halloween video, and I had that thing on my head with a bird, I think it freaked people out, and I'm like, oh god. I hope I didn't really freak too many people out with that video. I'm like totally going off on like other things right now. Sorry. Yeah, so I felt compelled to do this. And funnily enough, when I did do some research on this, because I do, I did find that Puerto Ricans tend to have like the highest rate when it comes to like addiction problems and stuff like that. And I'm gonna, like, while I'm saying this, I'm gonna actually scroll through and show you what it is that I found, and I'll leave like the site that I found it on, and I found that to be very interesting but not surprising. It doesn't surprise me at all. Going by the things that I saw growing up, again, not necessarily just in like my household or whatever, but just in the streets. It just coincides, with what I saw. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know who needed to hear this. Just know that if you are struggling with this, that, please get the help. The help is out there. Okay, please get that, and treat me like I am the adult version. Listen, if you have children by chance and you have these problems or whatever, treat me like I am your child. I am the adult version of your child, and I'm telling you to go get help. Okay, because that's the only experience that I can speak on, because I was never an addict. Okay, and then the other thing that I want to let you know is that there's so many resources out there for people who are addicts. There's so many rehab programs. There's so many numbers you can call. There's so many ways to reach out. There's so many shelters. There's so many things for people who need the help if they want the help. If anything, there's way more help for you guys than for the children that have to grow up in these environments. There's no hotlines. There's no shelters. There's no nothing. We're the ones that technically have to like suck it up and deal and help everybody else and just kind of grow up in the environment. And then we have to also simultaneously heal ourselves and go get the help ourselves and do all of that ourselves. And it's a whole lot harder for us because we don't have all of those resources like that just out there. Okay? So treat me like the child that is reaching out to tell you, please go get help. Or, if anything, treat me as the person who prompted you. If you're somebody who's watching this and you think that you have a family member that may have this problem, treat me as the person that's like nudging you to go and look into what it is that you might be suspicious of from a certain family member or friend that you think might have this problem. Okay? All right. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for now. I know this was a heavy topic, but I mean, I tried to like keep it not so heavy with little things, but yeah. Anyhow, like I said, something was prompting me to do this, so I felt like I needed to do it. And with that, I'm gonna go for now, and I will see you all in my next one. Take it easy, guys. Bye.